right, we are here learning Daily Dose of Bitachon, Daily Dose of Pesukim of Bitachon by Rabbi David Sutton, chapter 38. Super focus. All right, so it's written.
Focus on loving Shabbos.
That's how you stay focused on loving Shabbos. You wear the T-shirt.
Yes.
All right, so the Pasuk in Tehillim says, "Hine en Hashem el Yereav lamechalim lechazdo." Behold, the eye of Hashem is on those who fear Him, upon those who await His kindness. So, people who fear Hashem, they're always going to feel Hashem's presence. Truly feel Hashem's presence. They're careful about every mitzvah that they do and want to make sure that they do each of the mitzvot correctly and that they avoid any possibility of a sin happening in their actions of doing this mitzvah.
It's very hard to get that type of connection. I remember as a kid, I would, for example, say a bad word, do something wrong, and I'd be like, what's Hashem going to do to me? Like it was, but as you get older, like it's harder to, for some people, for me, it was hard to keep that because it's a very,
right.
I feel like it's, if you have that connection where every time you do something wrong, you're like, oh, am I going to get a lightning bolt hit on me? Like, Hashem, I'm sorry, then it's pretty amazing. Because
you become desensitized. When you get older, you become desensitized to the concept. When you're young, you just, you might fear more, right?
Yeah.
But as you grow older, you also get more confident,
sometimes you forget Hashem is there because things are either going really good, so you're a kid, you're confused, you don't know what's going on.
Right.
You're afraid of everything, but you act tough.
Right. And for us adults, the big question is, when it comes to standing in front of someone important, you got a meeting with Elon Musk or whatever, Trump. Would you act a certain way? Would you say certain things? Like you're careful of your words.
Yeah.
You're careful of your actions. You're careful of your behavior, your posture, your presence, how you dress. Do we actually act the same way when we're standing right in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right?
It's funny because I'm learning Shulchan Aruch, and that's the chapter I'm up to about how you're supposed to present yourself in shul, as far as the way you sit, about talking and everything you do. You have to remember that you're in Hashem's house, His main house. So, like you just said, if you're in front of Trump or anyone important, you show respect. You dress nice. Everything you do it like you're in front of Hashem. You have to think about it.
So, like we're saying in this pasuk, Hine en Hashem, it says the eye of Hashem. So, what is this eye of Hashem? In front of the eye of Hashem, it's exactly what David Melech is telling us, that in this pasuk, that these are the kind of people whom Hashem has His eye. So Hashem is paying attention to those people that fear Him and are cautious, what they're doing in front of Him. The second part of the pasuk describes a different type of people. So the beginning of the pasuk we said, "Behold the eye of Hashem." The second part is on those who fear Him, and then upon those who await His kindness. So the Chafetz Chaim says in the Sefer Machane Yisrael, he says that this pasuk tells us that Hashem's kindness rests on anyone who relies on Him. Even if he doesn't fit in the category of fearing Him, if he relies on Hashem, he fits in this category. So again, that's relying on HaKadosh Baruch Hu is extremely, extremely important. So you may not be able to get to the level of fearing Hashem that you might want, but if you're relying on Hashem, you're getting pretty close. And he derives this from the fact that the pasuk doesn't say those who fear Him and those who await His kindness. Rather, these two categories each receive their own mention. They're mentioned separately. And people who aren't on this level of fearing Hashem, they're still worthy of Hashem's focus because they await His kindness.
Well, backtracking what you said before, if you want to rely on somebody for anything, you're going to be a little afraid if they start to get mad at you because then you know you can't rely on them.
Right.
So with Hashem, it's definitely goes that way. Hashem, I need all these things, but if you're disappointed in me, then you might not want to help me out. So it's
Right.
important to know that I need to behave. I need to, make Hashem proud.
Right. Exactly. So they rely on him, and as we've said numerous times, when we count on Hashem alone, he actually comes through. There's also something to be learned from David HaMelech's mentions of Hashem's eye in the singular. Why do they mention in the singular format the eye of Hashem? Why don't they say the eyes? Why not two eyes? Why one eye? So the Midrash cites a pasuk containing that says, Enei Hashem el tzadikim. The eyes of Hashem are towards the righteous, referring to two eyes, and yet our pasuk refers to one eye. So on a simple level, two eyes would seem to be at a higher level of Hashem's supervision and protection than one eye. So the Midrash elaborates on this pasuk by quoting another pasuk. This is from Shir HaShirim, Berach Dodi Udmelecha Litzvi, which we'll be saying tonight. Flee, my beloved, and be like a deer. Hashem is compared to a deer because a deer sleeps with one eye open.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I didn't know that either. So when the Jewish people are doing the will of Hashem, he has two eyes on us. However, when we're not doing the will of Hashem, we enter a time of his tapanim in which he hides his presence from us, and it seems as if he's sleeping.
Wow.
This is where we might feel like, oh, I don't feel that Hashem is, paying attention to me. So
That's sad.
maybe in that situation, there's something you need to be doing. What this is actually telling us, from what I understand, is that to avoid from him sleeping and with one eye open. First of all, the fact that the one eye is open means that you'll never be forgotten or set aside, because Hashem still has an eye open, so he's still looking and paying attention. But he's, in order to get HaKadosh Baruch Hu, or to be looked at from HaKadosh Baruch Hu with the two eyes open, and avoid getting into that category of having one eye open, where Hashem is sleeping in front of you, you have to strengthen your fear for Hashem, and do what we said, that this is how you're going to wait his kindness, by fearing him. So in strengthening your fear for Kadosh Baruch Hu is what you need to do by having him pay more attention, in essence. So there's an example when Haman rose against the Jews and seemed poised to annihilate them. And however, even when from our perspective Hashem seems to be sleeping, one eye is still open and still focused on those who hope for his kindness. And the first word in the pasuk says, Hine, behold, indicating that we're about to discover something that is new. David HaMelech is asking us to open our eyes a bit wider and behold this new view on the way Hashem works. So that even when it appears that he's not paying attention to our troubles and our needs, just like we said, one eye is always open. And to ensure that his one eye is focused on us, we need to be amongst those that are awaiting his kindness. So now let's get into a sharper focus. The Akedat Yitzchak in Parashat Kititza offers another piece of wisdom on the idea of Hashem viewing us through one eye. He observes that this is how a sharpshooter focuses his vision. It's true.
Yeah.
When you go to the range and you've got a
one
scope.
eye look.
I mean, they say you shouldn't shoot with one eye closed, but because you have to train yourself to shoot with both eyes. But if you generally, when you want to focus in that scope, if you're using a scope, you close one eye, right? And you squint through the other to block out everything but the object that you're aiming for. So likewise, Hashem is doing this. Hashem's one eye is focusing on us with this extra precision. And at a time of Esther Panim, when we wonder, we wonder, where is Hashem? Where is Hashem at this moment? The person who hopes for his kindness is the object of his most intense focus. So same thing we reflect this in Shir Hashem, Libaftinim ba'achad me'anayich. You showed your love for me with one of your eyes. So this thought of the word behold, we go in deeper just when the Jewish people are not finding favor with Hashem, when He's not watching us with both eyes and seems to be hiding Himself. This is our opportunity to hope that He's going to turn to us and focus tremendously our intensity and our plight. David HaMelech's words offer us an incredible encouragement in dark periods of life, where if we're awaiting His kindness in these bleak circumstances, we can be sure to receive it.
Amen to that.
So anytime you feel like, hey, what's going on? I don't feel like so much good has been happening lately. Well, go back and recalculate at that moment. How is your fear for Kadosh Baruch Hu? How is your fear for Hashem? How can you strengthen that? And
it's also, what are you actually looking for? I mean, maybe you have to, have lower expectations,
right,
of what you want and what you're seeing on a daily basis. Because, like we've said in the past, things take time. You can't expect it to happen in one day.
Right.
But know that Hashem, like we just said, is watching over you. Hashem is there as long as you recognize that He's there.
Yes, exactly, and not just to recognize, not just to ask for His kindness, not just to fear Him, but we said, how do you? The other item to get Him to open up both his eyes is to remind yourself that you need to rely on Him.
Yeah,
Relying on Him is the key. All right, chazak.